Healthy Institute of Technology and convener of today's. Now I request Ms. Priyanka Adho to present the bouquet to our chief guest, Professor Dr. K.K. Agarwal, Chairman, National Board of Accreditation, India. Now I request Mrs. Sanchita Shah to present the bouquet to our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Shoykot Moitra, Vice Chancellor of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology, Kolkata. I now request Mrs. Ankita Mukhopadhyay to present the bouquet to our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Mrs. Saroj Agarwal, a distinguished professor. Next, I request Mrs. Tulika Chaudhary to present the bouquet to Professor A.B. Maitri, Principal in charge and convener of this one-day national seminar on National Education Policy 2020.
Next, he was going to felicitate our guest of honor, Professor Shoykot Moitra, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Maulana Abul Kalam University of Technology, with shawl and memento. To felicitate the distinguished Professor Saroj Agarwal, the guest of honor with shawl and memento. The host kindly felicitate. Please hand over the memento to our Chancellor. Let's make it a memorable moment with a big round of applause. It's truly a very momentous moment indeed that so many eminent scholars are being felicited by our Chairman, Sir, the former member of Parliament.
Ladies and gentlemen, at outset I express my gratitude to Professor K.K. Agarwal for coming to us to deliver his views on the national educational policy which has been circulated by Union government. At the same time, I also convey my heartfelt greetings to Madam for spending her valuable time to participate in this important issue. Professor Moitra, Vice Chancellor of MACAUT, he has been enlightened us by his gracious presence and to deliver a few words on the new educational policy. Initially, I like to enlighten upon you the Swami Vivekananda. He said, education is manifestation of already in the man, manifestation of perfection already in man. He said every man is God. Every man has the potentiality and perfection. It is our duty of the education, academicians, to manifest these values of every human being. Gautam Buddha said, religion based on casteism and God is not a religion. It provides love to God, at the same time hate to man. This is our society and the mankind, which has been nicely explained by our two great personalities of our country, Gautam Buddha and Swami Vivekananda. New educational policy which has come into the light, there is a controversy and debate. About 22 BJP ruled states have given their consent, whereas 14 states ruled by non-BJP government, they have not yet given their consent. What is the debate? What is the difference of opinion? This will be explained by our academicians who are present on the dais. I am not academician, I am a politician. But the politics is the instrument of change of the society. Politics drives all the matters. In the stage of parliamentary democracy. That's why we have to know something and deliver it. Practically, I think non-BJP government, they are opposing this educational policy because of the fact that without consultation with the states, this policy has been brought into light. It is very much detrimental to the federal structure of our country. If the states are not properly consulted, so the system of governance will be unitary, not the federal. However, this debate will be certainly solved through debate and discussion. In the new educational policy which I have gone through, I have seen government is giving much more importance, emphasis on the vocational education. In our country, most of the people are artisans. So without training, they have a artisanship and they apply this matter for their livelihood. It is correctly said in the new educational policy, they should be trained up so that productivity of our country can grow and disparity and discrimination which is prevailing in our country will come down. So I do agree to this proposition. The vocational education should be introduced for all initially. School education in the new educational policy has been also given much more emphasis. But there is some high talk. I don't know how it will be implemented. In our countries, livelihood is the acute problem. Unemployment, underemployment, poverty, illiteracy still are prevailing to a greater extent.
So I think it's my sacred duty to compliment him for his efforts and ensuring that the education reaches, relevant education reaches nook and corners of the country, including a small place like Haldia. When I was asked by Dr. Rafiq to visit Haldia, I remember having come to Haldia about maybe 25 years or 30 years ago on a personal visit. And when I reached here yesterday, I find there's a sea change in Haldia, what it was and what it is. And friends, one of the reasons for this is educational advancement of the town. When the towns advance academically, educationally, many other things follow. Many a times people tell me, sir, how can we become a world-class institution from a small place like this? I give them examples. In USA, there is a place called Research Triangle Park. It has 3 universities about 20 miles each in the form of a triangle. And Research Triangle Park is the best research area in the whole world, having 3 very small towns. Route 24 in UK is a very small place but has the best intellectual capital in the town. So intellectual capital, ladies and gentlemen, fortunately is not the prerogative of the rich only, is not the prerogative of large towns only. And one of the reasons for us to progress in this country is to take all our small towns also along so that people have the facilities of education at every nook and corner. Every child born in this country has a right to good education. I'll comment on some of the issues raised by Dr. Lakshman Chandra. But as he said, he is a politician. I'm an academician. And I think we will continue to remain so in our own capacities. But the point is, unless education is transformed, no country can be transformed. History has not seen the transformation of any country without the education's transformation. There are issues, some of which I may talk about, but the fact is we have grown in education like anything. Yes, much more is to be done, and that's why the National Education Policy. Friends, I'm also so happy to find my very great friend, Professor Saikat Mehta, as the Vice Chancellor of the university which nurtures many colleges, including yours. And if I am permitted to say, I find the country has very few thinking and performing Vice Chancellors. And I compliment them for that. Mrs. Agarwal is another guest of honor here, but I am duty bound to say that she has been a great support to me, and if I have been able to achieve anything, I think bulk of the credit goes to her, although it's never specific. Professor Mathi, the in charge of this great institution. When Dr. Rafiq contacted me and told that I should visit Haldia Institute of Technology, I was a little reluctant to begin with, but when he told me that they have all their programs accredited, they are one of the best colleges in the state with high accreditations and rankings, I thought it's my duty to be a part of you. And the way he persuaded me, the way he looked after me, and if I could sample his dynamism with the dynamism of the institution, I thought, let me take a chance of spending 2 days in this process and see maybe something better comes out of it. So I'm so happy to be here, friends, amongst you. The seminar which you are organizing on national education policy will talk about. What I suggest is I'll talk for some time on some of the issues, but then as Mr. Chairman has many queries, I think some of you also must have read national education policy and may have some queries. So what I suggest, if the Chairman agrees, I'll speak for some time, followed by the two distinguished guests, and then we can have an interactive session for a reasonable amount of time, so that if you have any doubts and queries, that could be attended to the extent possible. It's all right with you? That way? Okay, so we'll go that way. Let me make some comments first. Friends, national education policy is not a document which has come out of the blue moon and everything is written for the first time in the history of civilization. There have been many good practices in many universities, in many institutions in the country, and they have been compiled into this document called National Education Policy. Number one. Number two, as I said, this is a very good diagnostic document which brings out all the shortcomings in present education system. It does not have all the remedies state forward. For that, all of us will have to work together for several decades to make sure that the problems are attended to. There are some issues which have been highlighted by Dr. Lakshman Sheth. First of all, this is my personal opinion that this policy is not a package which has to be either swallowed or not swallowed. This is not a policy which has to be adopted 100% or not adopted. This policy is a sum total of so many recommendations. My personal suggestion would be, let us start with those recommendations which are acceptable to us, which are affordable by us. Any state, any nook and corner, problems in Delhi will be different than problems in Haldia. There is no doubt about it. Problems of rural society will be different than problems of urban society. Problems of America will be different than problems of India. But this policy, I don't see that you have to either follow everything or nothing. You can follow this policy to whatever extent one can, any day, any place.
Professor Agarwal, and I learned a lot of things from him because many times we have to remain present in the different platforms, and I get a chance to speak after him so that I learn a lot of things and it becomes easier for me to go for further deliberation because most of the things he covered, and I generally this the possession of very small these areas where I can focus. So he makes my task easier and at the same time enlighten me. Professor Mrs. Agarwal and Principal in charge Dr. Maiti, all the faculty members and members of the Board of Management, staff members, and most important stakeholders, the students of this institute. It is Haldia Institute of Technology, perhaps it is the oldest private engineering institute at the state. Am I correct? Oldest and first. Oldest private engineering institute at the state. That was the first. And initially it was affiliated with some other university. Afterwards it came with our university system. Now lots of changes afterwards happened, and this institute, as it was on the forerunner, it achieved and attained a level of maturity in the teaching of engineering, these educations, particularly in different core engineering subjects. And Right now, from this university, we are looking after many institutes and colleges across the entire state as a part of our affiliating system. And today, when I got the invitation from the management of Khulda Institute of Technology that I have to be present over here, I had a discussion where Professor Agarwal will be coming, so I could not resist the temptation of joining this session with him. And because for so many months, in the last 1.5 years, I did not have to make any travel because most of the times we could communicate through digital platform. So the things are gaining normalcy, and from 16th onwards, our
Online system is not even good. Generally, I think make the students idle and also teachers become idle. The offline classes so emotional. Teachers, students, they will meet together, and the teachers also meet them in the classroom, outside the classroom. So it has a very nice emotion, offline class and physical class. But however, I think because of the COVID, the government had no alternative but to start the online education. But this nowadays, coronavirus has come down to some extent, not totally eradicated, but it will come down because mankind will prevail upon the nature. If mankind could not have prevailed upon the nature, this Homo sapiens, species of the mankind, could not survive.
তখন আরেকটা বিষয়, এই যে করোনা পরিস্থিতির জন্য এই যে ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং সেক্টরে কি ছাত্রছাত্রী ভর্তিটা কম হচ্ছে তুলনামূলক?
ছাত্র ভর্তি কম হয়নি, ভর্তি ভালো হয়েছে, কিন্তু ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং কলেজে ছাত্রছাত্রীদের একটা যে ল্যাবরেটরি ডিসকাশন, ল্যাবরেটরিতে যাওয়া ইত্যাদি ল্যাব করা, সেটা তো কমেই নেই, ছিলই না। এটা অনেকটা ক্ষতি হয়েছে, এ বিষয়ে কোনো নিঃসন্দেহে এটা বলা যায়।
তাহলে ক্যাম্পাসিংয়ের
বিষয় বলছিলেন উনি যে ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর সাথে যেন মানে মিউজিকও পড়ানো যায়, এইচআইটিতে কি এরকম মাল্টি ডিসিপ্লিন পড়ানোর কোনো ভবিষ্যৎ পরিকল্পনা রয়েছে?
এখনো গভর্নমেন্ট একটা পলিসি করেছে, এখনো সিদ্ধান্ত হয়নি, তবে আমি এটা মনে করি এটা ওয়েলকাম। দেখা যাবে আমাদের স্টুডেন্টস অফ দি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ডিসিপ্লিন, দে নো দেয়ার সাবজেক্ট, কিন্তু তারা আমাদের দেশের ইতিহাসটা জানে না, ভূগোলটাও জানে না, আমাদের ফর্ম অফ দি গভর্নেন্সটা জানে না, শাসন প্রণালীটা কি জানে না। তার ফলে এক পেশে হয়ে যায় শিক্ষা, এক পেশে হয়ে যাচ্ছিল। এই আইডিয়াটা ভালো যে মাল্টি ডিসিপ্লিনারি এডুকেশনাল ইনস্টিটিউট।
আপনি বললেন যে জাতীয় শিক্ষানীতির পক্ষে বিপক্ষে কোনোটাতেই নেই, আপনারা কি নিজস্ব মূল্যায়ন করেছেন এই আপনাদের এইচআইটির ক্ষেত্রে?
জাতীয় শিক্ষানীতি এখনো আলোচনার বিষয়, পক্ষে বিপক্ষে এখনই মত দেওয়ার বিষয় নয়, কারণ এখন শুধু ডিসকাশনটা শুরু হয়েছে। 22টা রাজ্য বিজেপি শাসিত, তারা মত দিয়েছে, 14টা হচ্ছে অবিজেপি শাসিত রাজ্যে তারা মত দেয়নি। তাদের মধ্যে একটা প্রশ্ন উঠেছে যে আমাদের যে ফেডারেল স্ট্রাকচার, যুক্তরাষ্ট্র কাঠামোটা নষ্ট হচ্ছে, রাজ্যগুলির সঙ্গে আলোচনা করা হচ্ছে না, একতরফাভাবে কেন্দ্রীয় সরকার, ইউনিয়ন গভর্নমেন্ট তারা একটা পলিসি নিয়ে আসছে। সুতরাং এটা আমাদের যে ফেডারেল স্ট্রাকচার, যুক্তরাষ্ট্র কাঠামোকে ধ্বংস করবে এবং গভর্নমেন্ট ধীরে ধীরে ইউনিটারি হয়ে যাবে, এককেন্দ্রিক হয়ে যাবে। এটা একটা বড় আশঙ্কা, অ্যাপ্রিহেনশন আছে। এছাড়াও যেসব কথা বলা হচ্ছে, যেটা আমি বলেওছি যে অন্যান্য বিজেপি শাসিত কয়েকটি রাজ্যে সিলেবাস পরিবর্তন হচ্ছে, সিলেবাস পরিবর্তন করে এমনও করেছেন রামচন্দ্র নাকি সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলেন। হ্যাঁ, গণেশের সার্জারি হয়েছিল। এইসব যদি পাঠ্যসূচিতে ঢোকানো হয় তাহলে আমাদের মানে স্যাক্রোনাইজড হয়ে যাবে শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা, এডুকেশন সিস্টেম, এবং সেটা কখনো সম্ভব নয়। এইসব আজগুবি কথা এসব বলে কিছু তো লাভ নেই। আমরা বিজ্ঞানেরও অভিযান করব, বিজ্ঞানের কথা বলবো, আর মাইথোলজিরও কথা বলবো। এটা হয় না, দুটো কোটা একটা হয় না। তাই আমাদের প্রাচীন সভ্যতার মধ্যে বিজ্ঞানের চর্চা ছিল, সাহিত্যের চর্চা তো ছিলই, দর্শনের চর্চা ছিল। সেগুলি আমাদের আরো বেশি বেশি করে তাকে আরো উন্নত করতে হবে।
ত্রিপুরায় যেভাবে রাজনৈতিক প্রতিহিংসা চলছে কি বলবো?
তার সঙ্গে কি সম্পর্ক?
লক্ষণবাবু, একটা প্রশ্ন, সেটা হচ্ছে এই যে 2 বছরের ওপরে প্রায় প্যান্ডামিক সিচুয়েশন, ছাত্রছাত্রীরা ক্লাস করতে পারেনি, এক্ষেত্রে তাদের ক্যাম্পাসিংয়ের ক্ষেত্রে কি কোনো সমস্যা?
আমাদের ক্যাম্পাসিং খুব ভালো হয়েছে। মানে বিফোর প্যান্ডামিক সিচুয়েশনের আগে আমাদের যে প্লেসমেন্ট হতো, চাকরি টাকরি পেত ছেলেমেয়েরা, এবারে তার চেয়ে ভালো চাকরি হয়েছে। আগে একজন 4টা-5টা কলেজে কোম্পানিতে চাকরি পেয়েছে, 4-5টা, 6টা পর্যন্ত চাকরি পেয়েছে। তা সুতরাং এখনো পর্যন্ত আমাদের ইনস্টিটিউট কনসার্ন হলদিয়া ইনস্টিটিউট অফ টেকনোলজিতে আমাদের প্লেসমেন্ট খুবই ভালো।